Hi, this is Christy with Sapphire Skies Farm.
These are our Welsh harlequin ducks. In our video today, we will be setting 6 eggs in the kebonnixs incubator. I'll show you how to get them started and set up, and then how to candle them so you'll know which eggs are viable, what to look for while you're candling, and how to put the eggs into lockdown. My tips and tricks for incubating duck eggs so you can have a good hatch. One of my very favorite things are baby ducklings. And here are ours when they are 4 months old. Subscribe to our channel, click on the bell button to be notified when we post more videos. This is the kebonnixs incubator. It has an automatic digital incubator with built-in LED candler. Now, I have used this before, but I'm just showing you the box in case you decide you want to use the same one as us. There's a few things I really like about this incubator. I like that you can put water into it at any time during the whole incubation process without having to open it. I also like that I can candle my eggs without having to go find something to candle them with. It's just attached to the incubator. I love that it shows what our humidity and our temperature level is at all times. It counts down for me, so I don't have to pay attention. You can adjust that to the different type of eggs that you're incubating. And then it also has an automatic egg turner, which we will not use for this because I'm doing duck eggs and it's the right size for chicken eggs. I'm just gonna get this out. So there's 2 cords. One is to plug into the wall and one is to plug in for the egg turner. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the egg turner now. And then I'll just leave the egg turner in the box for when I need to use it someday in the future. We keep this on it because this is where the water is kept, and this keeps the baby chicks once they've hatched, or in this case the ducklings, from being able to get into the water. Also, we don't want baby ducklings to get access to water that's too deep when they're too young.
They could drown if you leave it off.
So it's important to keep this on here. This is actually where you put the water in when the lid is on. And then there's 2 separate reservoirs. If your humidity is not high enough, you can fill it up high enough that it goes into the second reservoir.
Otherwise, just fill it up to the first reservoir, not spilling into the second.
Just putting the lid on here. So it has a spot here on the side where it locks into place so that it's nice, gets a nice good seal. And this is what it all looks like put together. These are the duck eggs that we'll be using today. They're Welsh harlequin duck eggs. And as you can see, there's a little bit of mud on them. That is something that you should not worry about because ducks are, quite frankly, very dirty creatures. They love the dirt, they love the mud, they love the water. And so I would never really worry about the mud that's going to be on these eggs. It's just part of being a duck egg. So let's put them inside of our incubator. If I was doing chickens, I would preheat this incubator But because I'm doing duck eggs, I'm not as worried about that initial temperature. So I will put them in and then I will set up the heating element. Lid off. And the eggs just need to be on their sides. Now, because there is no egg turner in here, they will most likely move around. That's okay. Sometimes I have them set like this. It doesn't matter too much which way they're positioned during this process because you'll be moving them so often. Which reminds me, we have to mark these eggs. What do I mean by mark these eggs? Well, let's show you. Each of these eggs are going to need to get rotated a few times each day during the incubation process. And so I'm going to put an X on one side and a smiley face on the other side. So we're going to put an X on one side of each egg, and then I turn it and I try to make it exactly on the opposite side. And I do a little smiley face. So a smiley face on one side, X on the other. And we do this to each of the eggs. There's another smiley face. And an X. We continue this for all of them. I'm speeding this up. Now the most important thing here is that you make sure all of the same side is faced up. So we're doing the smiley face side faced up. And then when it's time to rotate, then all the X's will go up, and so on and so forth, 4 times a day for the next 28 days. Hi, Ruby.
Hi.
Do you want to help me today?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take that water there, and you're going to pour it into this slot, and you're going to stop filling up before it overflows above this mark, because this mark shows that there's only enough water to be inside of this reservoir here and not in this overflow reservoir. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, pour it in for us. She's being nice and patient and careful. Another fun thing about waterfowl is that we always get to squirt water on it. Each time that you rotate your eggs, you'll squirt water on it. You want your water to be the same temperature as the eggs. So currently, our eggs are room temperature, and so we will spray room temperature water on them, and later we'll have to do water that is the same temperature as the eggs, which will be 99.5 degrees. So Ruby's gonna spray our eggs for us right now. Okay, give each one a squirt. Okay, all right, we ready to put the lid on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, grab the lid to the incubator and put it on.
And you definitely don't want to get this part wet.
True. Okay, I've moved them over to this corner over here. I like that it's a little bit darker in this part of my kitchen. It's sort of like the mommy sitting on the eggs. It would be darker for them during that period. I would actually love to have them by a window, but then it's pretty bright. So I like to kind of simulate what it would be like for them under the mommy. And we're gonna go ahead and plug them in. And this is gonna beep here. Now it is really hard to see on here, but this is, the temperature is gonna start going up. It says the humidity is pretty high. That's normal right now because we just sprayed our eggs. So there's a lot of moisture in there. Once that evaporates, then this humidity will go down. It says 92. Let's see if we can get it to focus. Not really. 84, 85. So that's gonna go up. And then one thing we really need to do is we're gonna change from 21 days to make sure we are at 28 days because it takes 28 days for ducks to hatch. To change the number of days to hatch, first you'll check to see this here. It says 21, so you'll actually hold down this menu OK button for a few seconds, about 3. And then the temperature will blink, and you'll press it one more time, and you'll go up to 28. All right, we're at 28 days. At this point, I strongly recommend you still go ahead and write down what day you set your incubator, just in case something happens, like a power outage or something, and you lose track of how many days it's been, just go ahead and write it down. It's never gonna hurt to just be sure. So write down the day that you start, and then write down the day that is your expected hatch date. It's been 24 hours. Let's candle these guys. If you're using the kebonnixs incubator, you just have to press this negative sign and it turns the light on. Okay, here's our egg. Smiley face, X. I've got them all labeled from 1 to 6, so this is number 1. So what you would do for candling an egg is you always go from the bottom up. So let's start here. It's very hard to tell, but if you look very carefully, you can actually see where the air sac is down here on the bottom. I'm going to draw a circle around that so you can see that more clearly in the future, because that air sac will grow as the embryo develops. Okay, so now I've used my pencil and I've traced around the outside of that air sac. And then here you can see the yolk. Now, if you end up candling and you have a double yolker, you will likely not end up being able to actually hatch that one out. It's very common that if they do get to the right age, they don't make it. So it's your choice. But if I ever find one that's a double yolk, I no longer incubate those ones. So this one looks good. You can tell that there's just one yolk. Our egg sac, or air sac, is down here. Looks great. All right, let's check out number 2. Kind of see the yolk wobble around in there. Let's see if we can do that again. So inside of an egg, you've got your yolk in here, and then the yolk is actually attached on either side to the egg itself, so that the yolk stays generally in the middle here. And that's usually when you crack open an egg and you see the inside, you see the little white part. That's actually what's holding the yolk in place in the middle of the egg, like that. Pretty cool. So this is actually pretty interesting. I've never really noticed there'd be such a good, easy to find ring inside there before. But I really like these duck eggs because I can really see inside this egg very easily. It's very neat. So there's egg number 2. I'm going to do the same thing with all of their air sacs. Egg number 3, once again I've got the air sac marked. And you can see one yolk. And then it's not a detached yolk. See how it's floating in the middle? It's good and healthy. 4. It's very long. This egg is much longer than the other ones. I was worried this was a double yolk, but this is a single yolk also. Thank goodness. We got egg number 5 here. Also a single yolker. Sometimes when I candle, I notice little things like this, like there's some straw attached to the egg. Good. If for some reason your air sac is not at the bottom of your egg, you have to be really careful with your eggs. I don't have that, so that is something we'll cover on a different lesson someday when I end up with eggs in that situation. But it's important to check to make sure that your air sac is open. So what would cause your air sac to be unattached to the bottom is things like eggs that got shooken up too much. The most common ways this would happen is if you have a child who shook your eggs, or if you bought them and they got shipped to you, then you might run the risk of having those air sacs detached. Alright. And that is another beauty, just the way it should look. We got 21 days till hatch. So this is our egg that did not develop at all. It must have been infertile. Egg 1. Egg number 2. It is really going. So now you can really see a clear dark spot. That is the eye of the duckling. If you're doing chicken eggs, it would look very, very similar. You would see a little dark spot. And see all these nice healthy veins going around here. It's looking really good. Egg number 3. Okay, so this one we could tell yesterday it had stopped developing. So you can see where there's a dark spot. So there's definitely a baby in there, but it hasn't changed at all in a couple days. So this egg will be removed and should not stay in the incubator. Okay, here's another one, much like egg number 2. This is egg number 4, where we've got a lot of good veins going around. You can see the eye again in this one. So that's really great. We're doing so good. That's our air sac. Pretty great. Nothing too big, so that's always good. Egg 5. Once again, now we can see the little black dot where the eye is. Oh, he moved. That was kind of fun. Hi. Hi, little baby. Looking forward to you joining us. Okay, last one, egg 6. There, little tiny baby. This one looks really healthy too. Lots of nice, good veins. So right now we have 4 viable eggs. Definitely one that didn't have any fertilization happening, one that aborted early. Oh, he's moving. Cute. Little tiny duckling. Okay, this is egg 5. It's already moved since I just did this, but I thought it would be really fun as the egg grows, as the baby inside this egg grows, to like keep track of how dark, how big the space is. So like I said, it's already moved up a little tiny bit, but it was right here. So I marked the size it is. And on this egg, this is egg 5, I'll just go through and every couple days mark the size of the chick or the duckling inside, because I think it's kind of neat to see how much it grows. So, and then the last thing I'm marking on these eggs is the next ring of growth on the air sac. This has now been 7 days, so it started this small here. There we go. It started this small here, and now it has grown that much in 7 days. Just showing egg 1 again to remind you just how much change there will be. Nine days till hatch. Egg number 2 showing the growth now. You can see all kinds of veins. This is all that's really left here of the white. Little ducky, getting bigger. Let's see you moving. This is egg number 4. You can see how much of the air pocket has grown. Oh, we're nice and active. Cute. So this egg was always a lot bigger than the other ones, so you can definitely see that there's a lot more room still in here for that duck. Lots of movement there. Very cute. Okay, here we have egg 5. Some good movement there. Oh. Some nice, good veins. It's always fun to see them move inside. Okay, last one here is egg 6. See some good movement in there. Cute. Egg number 2. Wow. So here's where we have the 1/3 of the egg is now the air sac. See that? And the rest is the baby chick. You can't really see a whole lot more going on in there. So they'll actually pip into this membrane that's separating the two and breathe this air until it is able to hatch out of the egg. This is number 6. Interesting. Egg 2 always looked so much further along. So it might hatch earlier than the other ones. See how much more of an air sac there was in there. This is egg 4. See, we still have a lot more movement in this one. This actual egg itself is much larger than the other ones, so I'm not sure if that's related to why there's still so much white left in there. But regardless, these eggs have to go into lockdown because I bet this one hatches really soon. So if you had eggs with a turner in there, now's the time to take it out. These are duck eggs, so we'll give them one last good squirt down. We have filled the inner chamber here with water. Let's get a view of that. So both of the chambers have water now, where before there was only one. And now it's time to close it up one last time. One last tidbit, make sure that you open your airway all the way up so that there's the most air that they can get for your incubator right when they hatch. All right, little eggs, do your thing. We'll see you in 3 days or so. Okay, right here is egg number 2. I'm gonna set this down so that you can really see. Okay, watch this egg. Did you see me? It's moving. It's moving. Hey baby, are you gonna come out? So it's probably already broke through the inner membrane, and now it's gonna come and pip any minute now. So this is egg number 2. This is the one that seemed like it was further along already when we put this into lockdown. We got our first pip. See that little tiny mark right there? That is where the first little duckling's trying to come out. Okay, you ready to see something cool? Okay, here's the duck eggs. And if I bring my phone over, see the baby duck inside? So it's kind of like I'm candling the egg. Look at that baby duckling in there. I mean, it's just a shadow, but still, it's really cool. Alright, here's our 2 baby duckies that made it. So a little sad story. My sweet little 2-year-old heard them making little peep noises when they were not quite hatched, and he tried to crack the eggs. So sad. 2 of them did not make it through that experience, but these 2 seem to be doing great. Hi, babies. So they need to stay in the incubator for 24 hours from when they hatch. And then you can put them in a brooder with a heat source and some food and water. This is really cute. So one of my favorite things about freshly hatched little ducklings or chicks is that they like to reach really high up to the heating element, and then they realize, oh, that's so comfortable, and they start to like fall asleep. And then they think, oh, wait, I need some of that heat again. So they'll stand back up and get near that heat again, and then they get so relaxed and they start to fall back asleep. It's really quite precious. Now, one thing I do want to share with you is that when the eggs first hatch, your humidity is going to be really high. Don't get scared. That's normal. Your chicks will be totally wet. All of the extra moisture from the egg has to dry out, and the chicks' feathers need to dry out. So my chicks are almost fluffy. They'll be fluffy by tomorrow morning. So these ones actually look better than the freshly hatched ones. Falling asleep. Anyway, so don't be afraid of that high humidity. Don't freak out. Don't open it up. You need to keep it closed. Keep it closed for 24 hours after your chicks hatch. And they won't all hatch at once. You'll have one that hatches, and then it'll feel like forever before another one hatches. That's totally normal. Just let them do their thing.
Sapphire skies smiling at me, nothing but sapphire skies do I see. Sapphire birds singing a song, nothing but sapphire skies all day long.